Hey, I'm back in my 2002 BMW 325 Ci, and I'm in the process of I've actually pulled off the panel here. It's actually really easy to do. There's some other videos on YouTube, but basically what you do is you take a flathead screwdriver, go through the holes here. It pushes this spring over, and you do the same on this side. The airbag pops right off. Just it snaps in. It's held in with these two clips here, and so you pop that out, and then there's two T20 down here, and then there's two T20 that you'll see through the cavity here. You take those four out, disconnect this one cable here, and then just gently pop. Mine did stick a little bit, but just gently pop it off. There's no clips or anything up here. It's held on basically with tension, and it does have kind of fits into these slots here again with some tension, but it just pops right out. So anyway, I've removed that, and I'll go in the house in just a minute here, and what I'm going to be doing is an LED swap. So that's all you have to do. Very, very easy. Took me like 5 minutes. Be sure that you do disconnect your battery, because this is your airbag connector, and you don't want that to accidentally go off. That would be a bad day. Okay, I've come in the house, and what I've done is on the back of the steering wheel, I already removed these two panels, but basically they're held in with on each side there are four just Phillips head screws. I used a Phillips head 1 bit, nothing special, just my electronics kit, but it's a Phillips 1, and you take those off, and then this panel just pops right out. And then what I'm going to do in just a moment is I'm going to remove these four LEDs here, and then there are corresponding LEDs on the other side, and I'm going to replace them with just some standard surface mount LEDs. These are actually from, you can see the company here, it's Lighthouse LEDs. I've done a full LED switch on the majority of the dash already, but I'm just going to desolder those and solder on the replacements, and then we'll test it out. Okay, just got a note here. So don't know if you can see, but on my LED, this is where my notch is, and so power is flowing this way. I think I'm saying that right. So it's flowing this way, and so over here, that corresponds to going from this would be the bottom of the steering wheel to the top. So this is going to mount. This is going to mount on here just like this. So just in case anyone is wondering. All right, and I'll join you back in just okay. I thought I'd show what I'm doing here. So I'm going in basically from, it's hard to do this through the camera, through each side, and I'm just using a pair of tweezers just to gently pop off the old LED. So I'm just going back and forth, back and forth. I'm not touching it right now. I'm going back and forth, and then the LED pops off, and then I'm adding just a touch of solder to it. And then when it comes down to it, all I have to do is basically just pop on the new LED, and we'll be done. So shouldn't take me but just a few more minutes here, and really this should go nice and quick. All right, got the job all done. Got them all replaced. There's a total of 10 of them. There's 4 on this side, on the driver's side, or I should say the right side, and then there's got 6 over here on the left. So we're going to put it all back together and put it back in the car, and then we'll test it out. Okay, so before we close everything up here, so put it back in, just pop it right in. Got your screw here, and then there's 2 screws that are back here. Again, those are T20s. By the way, if you need to, I know this is kind of bad form, but if you do need to reclock your steering wheel, like for example, earlier on, I replaced the flex joint, they call it the guibo, on the steering column, and it's actually in the engine compartment. And when I put it back on, I think it's off by like one tooth, quite literally one tooth, which means that the steering wheel, the clock angle is not just right. Well, take off this, it's a 16 millimeter, take this out, the steering wheel pops right off. You don't need a puller, it just pops right off. Moved it one tooth over, put it back in, done. Anyway, I've got this all back in, and I'm about to hook up the airbag. By the way, unless you've got the computer software to be able to talk to the Beamer, don't turn it on without an airbag in. If you do, you'll get a check engine light. You'll have to fix the code. It is fixable, and you just have to have the right equipment to do it. And it is possible to do it yourself, but you do have to have a cable and everything. So I'm going to go ahead, before I test the LEDs out, I am going to hook the airbag back up, pop it back in, and then I'll hook up the battery, and we'll test it in just a minute here. Okay, we're back in the car. We got it turned back on. You can see the blue color now, much brighter. May not be able to pick it up on the camera, but it is much brighter compared to the originals. But got those switched out. You can see the rest of my dash with the blue. I did leave. I did actually leave. You can see some yellow here, and of course red. So I did leave some of the stuff with their original colors, but I did replace the LEDs. I did also replace the blinkers as well. I will note the blinker LEDs I got were super bright, so I did actually go back in and actually covered up. There's two LEDs for each of them. I covered up one on each side, and it's much better. I've also got here in the console, I've got a upgraded stereo, but I've replaced the LEDs here, and even here in the switches, and I even popped out this one. I left this one alone, but I did replace the blue one here. The only thing I haven't done is this is an aftermarket accessory, and I haven't tried to disassemble this to redo it, but at this point that's the only thing that's left that still has the original orange-red BMW color. Everything else has been switched. Even switched up here in the console. Kind of see it there. I've got it with the blue LEDs right here. There's one each right there. You can see, and I've swapped out the bulbs here for LED bulbs, much brighter. But it is a big project to do. It's easy to do. You know, a lot of it is you just pop the modules out and just disassemble them. Usually standard screws, some torque screws, some Phillips head screws, and then you just desolder and resolder. But it will take you some time. I think the dash, I can't remember how many LEDs are back here. It's got to be something like 30 or 40 of them. My only complaint, and I've got to do some playing around, is these right here. They actually show up better on camera. But when you're looking down from the driver's angle, you can kind of see it starts to wash out. I think it's actually the polarizing film here, because there's a plastic panel that sits on top of these, and I've been thinking about actually taking it, turning it upside down, and seeing if that helps. Because when you're looking as the driver down at the AC panel here, it looks perfectly fine. What you're seeing on camera, that's exactly what it looks like. You can read it perfectly. And here, if you go up, you can see how the contrast changes. So I think it's actually the polarizing film. I'm going to do some research on that and see about fixing that. But other than that, it looks really good. I'm glad these are done, because these were super dim with the old LEDs, and this will actually be nice while driving to be able to see that. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna have I'll have other videos on my BMW I also have an Acura RDX my wife drives. Might be doing some stuff with that. And then I've also got a Polaris General, which is hopefully coming this week. It's like 2 months delayed, and we'll be doing a lot of stuff with that. So looking forward to that. If you got time, you want to see some videos, subscribe. I'll be happy to answer any questions anyone has, and have a great day.